Hello everybody, Demonr here. Just want to basically say that I'm doing a little bit of practice on my own in private around the Kyoto and myabi track. However, I've decided to stream this because this is me just learning the track. I am going to do another quick-fire video with sort of rally style calls, instructions for the corners. That'll be something separate. So for anyone that decides to watch this and think, oh, I can't be asked to watch through all of the shit that he does, that's fine. There'll be a much shorter version coming soon. This isn't me showing how it's done, this is me learning the track. So I'm just gonna basically drive, do a few laps and see how I get on, see what I might learn, see what I can try, make a few errors. Now, most of this track I've driven on before a lot, a few of the DGT drivers have, in the Grevo Cup, but this is a different variation. Personally, I think this is a better variation. It adds a couple of brilliant corners into the track. It does make it a little bit long though, and there are two very tricky corners, but once you know how to get around them, it becomes so much easier. So this is where in the Grevo there was a fast left-right chicane. To be fair, I love that left-right chicane, but I also really like the next sort of three corners. And one of the things I'm actually trying at the minute, I mean I've just done like 4 laps, and one of the things I'm trying is seeing how often I can get away with using no brake. Now obviously not into any of the slow corners, but into the faster, longer ones. It turns out you can get away with no brake for a couple of them. Whether it's faster or not, I haven't worked out yet. Maybe a little combination of the two. This part is probably one of my favourite parts on this track. Let's see what we can learn. But interestingly, when I did the guide around the other version of this track in the Grevo, if I remember rightly, I was saying lift off around that right hand curb and try not to brake until you're going straight. You can't do that on this one, so I'm going to have to work out a different and a better way of doing it. Nasty hairpin. Okay, that's really awkward camber on that corner. And given that this car doesn't like braking and steering, okay, could be a little bit tricky on that one. went a bit deep here last time, didn't I? That's a little better, but I'm not happy with that. I think I need to get in earlier, which means braking a touch earlier. Interesting. Okay, so what I've done that time is around the right hand curve I've lifted off the throttle and very gently applied the brake just to scrub a little bit of speed off, and then as soon as I'm onto the straight a bit, bang the brakes on full, it's fully under control and it gives me enough time to make the corner. But if I don't do that little bit of braking on the curb, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. If I don't do the little bit of braking on the right hand curb, it doesn't take enough speed off for when I do actually fully hit the brakes. Oh, sorry about the sneezing, that kind of came out of nowhere then. Kind of worked out a rhythm for myself down this section already, but I'm going to have to try a few different ones, but that I've just done there is one that works quite nicely. That was not a good corner though. So rather than trying to use no brakes into some of these sweeping corners, I think I'm better off using a proper dab of the brake to scrub just enough speed off to then let the car slow down through the corners. Advantages of that will be that this car does not like braking and turning, so if you try and turn in and slow down, it's not going to work as well. I've gone second gear though, I don't want to use second gear. As soon as I get on the power, I'm right up at the top of the rev range. Okay, so I use a little bit of brake on around the curb, and as soon as it's straight, use more, but I was too aggressive on the brakes there, and that's what sent me sideways. So I applied a little too much throttle, and it made the rear step out a bit. Now there might be another way of doing that, something that I've seen with some other cars on this game that are very twitchy in braking zones. There kind of is a bit of a trick that I've found to some of them. If I can show it, I will at a relevant braking point. Awkward slow corner, that one. So let's see. Okay, I might be able to show it at the hairpin, the braking that I'm on about. So used a little bit of brakes there just to get the speed off, and then I don't have to touch the brake again, and just stay off the throttle until it's slowed down enough until I can get back on the throttle. Ooh, that was a bit wide. That's very wide. Made a right meal of that. At least now I know, don't run wide. So I was trying to show you down into this corner. I've not had any problems with the rear going twitchy, but one of the things you can do is that I've just done there. Keep the throttle pinned and apply the brake. It would mean that you would have to brake a tiny bit earlier than normal, but for cars where the rear end is very, very twitchy, under braking it can be useful. Admittedly, it is kind of against my normal driving style, so I don't tend to use that unless I am in a car that wants to kill me. So that time I had a lot less brake applied on the right hand part, which meant I didn't get sideways. And by the way, for anyone that does watch this, in the long sweeping corners, hopefully you'll notice that any slowing down I feel I need to do is not done by using the brake. It's just done by coming off the throttle. Now, the reason that I'm doing that and I'm pointing it out is if I use the brake, a good chance it's going to send the car sideways. Also a good chance I'm going to slow down too much. Obviously though, if there's a car in front of you, you can hit them, yeah, use your brakes. There's basically one dab with the brakes and then just let the car slow down until you can speed up. I had to lift a bit because I could see I was running wide. So I needed to slow down a bit, rather than touching the brake, just lift off the throttle. So same here, on the brake, now just let the car slow down until I can get back on the power. I've stayed in 5th and I wanted 4th really. That corner needs 4th on entry, 5th on exit. Third gear around here. Okay, so I braked a touch earlier. The tyres are hurting at the moment. I think I punished them a bit too much. But having seen that, it's fully under control. And it's all by using that process of very gently on the brake around the right hand part until I can get fully on the brake when the car's straight. I'll show you what happens on the next lap actually if I ignore that process completely and just brake going around the right hand part. Interestingly, some of the corners around here, like those 2 slow hairpins, finding the fastest line, brake too late there, when you're on your own, is be quite easy really, but what will be the faster racing line? Difficult to say, because until I've got a car around me, like if someone went nice and slow, tight to the apex, I don't know if I'd be able to drive around the outside of them yet or not, but that'll come with a bit of practice. So one of the reasons I said with that final corner that it's 4th on the way in is because it allows the car to slow down and turn, and 5th for the way out because 4th is too short a gear to really accelerate out of the corner. So what I'm going to try and do on this lap then is, as I mentioned, ignore my braking process for the fast right into the very tight hairpin. So this bit coming up. So rather than braking gently at the right hand curb, I'm going to brake fully to try and make the corner. Now, okay, I've made the corner, but the car was sliding all the way through. It may be quicker for the odd lap, but it killed tyres. Is not the way to go through that corner. interestingly, with these two corners, I'm still trying a couple of different rhythms through those two. Seeing if I can go flat out through the first one and the second one, which you can't. Or seeing if you can go flat out through the first one and then just need to lift a bit for the second one, which you can do. Or whether it's faster to lift for the first one and whether you can go through the second one flat out. So fourth gear on the way in, fifth gear on the way out. So what I'm going to do now is, while I've got slightly worn tyres, is just push my braking points a little bit deeper than I have been doing and see if I'm beyond the limit of braking or not, or even if I can brake and get around the corner, whether I believe it's faster or not. Careful of running wide here. Admittedly, it's one of the reasons why I like that corner, is because once you know what you're doing, it's quite an easy corner, but the exit is kind of tricky, so you still have to make sure you get that exit right. You can't just floor it on the way out. And lift flat out. Or tyres haven't got the grip for it. Okay, so when the tyres are worn, then lifting on the first part and flat out on the second part, not going to work. So as I'm driving around, like doing this sort of practice, as I mentioned, I am just trying different things in each of the corners to find out what works and what doesn't for me. You know, I'm not going to lift it. Let's see what happens. Oh shit! Yeah, definitely need to lift. Right, so for turn one, I've been braking at around about the start of the curve. 100 metres is usually the norm, but in this car I'm giving it an extra bit, but this time I'm not going to. Yeah, okay, can't really go past the 100 there. I've stayed on the track, but that's quite slow. Okay, braking at the 50, it doesn't want to stop. Now, okay, yes, I've got worn tyres, but I don't think it'd make it, even with fresh ones. Just gonna... I thought, I'm going to try a wider entry and see if I can straighten up the entry more. But to be honest, because the car's turned right so much, as soon as I touched the brakes, it wanted to wobble. Okay, so as the tyres are quite worn, you come into the long sweeping corners without slowing down before you turn, it just understeers. here I'm not going to lift until late, so I'm turning in, but it's understeering. So that's with turning before braking. So clearly I do not want to be doing that. And if I brake hard going in, the car just pitches into a four-wheel slide. Admittedly, what I was going to do then was carry on and see if I could get a more representable time doing closer to my normal braking points, but I'm not going to do another out lap to do a time lap on old tyres. Okay, so I've tried a few things there. Not many have worked, but I've learned a couple of things. So now I've got the fresh set of boots on. There's a couple of things I'll try, like can I brake at 50 metres for this corner? I already know on warm tyres I can't, so to be honest, in a racing situation, I wouldn't even bother trying 50 metres there. Braking late here just sends you wide. And we know the difficulties of braking down here, but I do want to try this unorthodox line. Yeah, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. I think a car with more grip might do it. I'm actually thinking the best way through those two corners may be a lift in both corners, just to be on the safe side, because you do not want to run wide on the left. I got on the power very, very early then, but I did have to come back off it. I'll try 50 metres here. It's doable, but it's slow. It's slow. That's better corner. I'm going to try the unorthodox line again. Even that time, I tried lifting off to allow the car to turn in a bit more, and it's not liking the amount I'm having to steer to get around the corner, so I can't see it being the optimal line in this car. In a car that has much more grip, it may be a better line, but then if it's got much more grip, the normal line would, I think it would actually be better, because you'd simply be able to just bang those brakes on regardless. This corner though, this is a tricky bit. I will mention a little bit about that in a moment. It's a corner that if you're attacking, you're screwed basically. Try and push and gain time in that corner, you're just going to lose it. You ain't gaining anything by pushing in that corner. just stay off the throttle until I've turned, then I can power on and I don't have to come back off it. That's much smoother and faster. Braking at 75, braking gentler, doing it in a higher gear. That hairpin's a little awkward because it's kind of, I want to do it in third, but it's kind of, the gears aren't quite right for second and third. Close. So as I mentioned at the start of this, I am going to go for I will do a short sort of rally style instructions video about the braking points, the gears and stuff like that, those kind of instructions. As a much shorter video. This is simply just me driving around, doing a bit of practice, seeing what I learn. But in a minute I will mention what it is. I went on the power before I turned. What it is that I am focusing on and where my braking points are, but I'll just do it as I drive around. Okay, so braking at the start of the curve here for a third gear corner. And being patient on the way in until the front end is really tucked in around the corner, and then get the throttle on and not have to take it off. Gentle braking at 75 for a fourth gear corner. Kiss that apex and floor it up the hill. Brake between the barrier over the road and the curb. Hard on the brakes for a third gear hairpin. Third gear hairpin allows you to plant the throttle on the exit. Okay, flat out through the left, stay left. At the right hand curb, off throttle, gentle brakes. As soon as it's straight, full brakes to get the car slowed down for a 3 left and then a 2 left. Now I'm going to brake at about 50 metres. It's a short, sharp dab. No, it's not actually for this one, it's the end of the curb. It's a short, sharp dab of the brakes, and then I don't touch the brakes again. It's just controlling 5th gear to get around the corner. Lift and then flat left, lift, flat right. You can brake at the white paint. You'll always make this hairpin. Caution around the entry. Floor it on the exit. Brake as the marshal's post is going out your screen on the right for a 2 left. Don't push. Then we're flat up the hill. For the next right hander, a short sharp dab of the brake at 50 metres and then control 5th gear. Control your speed and kiss the apex late if you can. But want to be full throttle on the exit. At the marshal's post, you want to be turned in. And then lift, downshift, stay off throttle, turn in, floor it. Up to 7th, brake at 50, another short sharp dab. That wasn't enough, because I'm talking. Get it down to 5th gear for going into the corner. Sorry, 4th gear going into the corner, and 5th gear to come out of the corner. Let's go through that again. So start of the curb for a 3 left hairpin. patient on the way in. The tyres are hurting a bit, but flat out on the way out is the aim. Gentle brake 75 metres for a 4 right. Use the curbs. Okay, over to the left between bridge and curb. Hard on the brakes for a 3 right hairpin. If need be, knock it down to second, but be aware that when you floor it on the exit, you're going to have to get up into 3rd gear pretty quick. Flat left, stay left for fast right, lift off throttle, gentle brakes until it's straight, hard brakes for eventually a 2 left. Okay, short sharp brake at the end of the curb, do it before you turn, and then control that 5th gear up and around the hill to kiss the apex late if you can, but on the exit curb, maximised. Lift on the way into the left and then flat, lift on the way into the right and then flat, brake the white paint for a 3 right hairpin, patient on the way in, floor it, marshal's post, brake for a 2 left, and then attack the exits. Don't attack the entry there, attack the exit. Okay, flat out, short sharp brake at 50 for a controlled 5 right, try an apex late. Nicely done. Over to the right for a flat out left, turn in at the marshal's post, lift, downshift, stay off throttle, turn, boost, well not boost but full throttle. At 50, short sharp brake, control 5th, down to 4th to get the turn in. Now it's turning in, we go up to 5th, and that runs us all the way to the edge of the curve. So I'm going to try and do the same things now, but without actually talking. Didn't put the brakes on enough. I was too gentle on the brakes then. Tried a different technique there, it didn't work. Tried staying on the throttle. Okay, I mentioned about this left hand hairpin, about the marshal's post. It is this marshal's post here that I'm on about. So as that is just about to go out my screen, that's what I'm using at the braking point. If you brake any later than that, you'll go a bit deep at this corner. Now it may feel faster to be braking a bit later and ending up sort of middle of the road, but I can tell you it's not. It hurts the tyres more and it is slower. I mean, this is a track where it would be very easy for people to look at it and think, oh shit. But in actual fact, it's not the most difficult of tracks. Yes, there's a technique to it, but it's not like there's a lot of heavy braking zones or like a Suzuka Racers. Yes, there's a fast chicane style bit. But once you know the rhythm to use through there, it becomes a enter and forget corner. That hairpin's a little awkward with the gear ratios on this car. Also, I will point out as well that this track is meant to be raced in the other direction. So as I mentioned about this track in the Grevo guide, the racing lines that you can see, the tyre marks that you can see, are not relevant for this direction. But in a corner like the hairpin, or even down here, the tyre marks are the grippier part. But for corners like this, you have to be very careful of getting led into this part of the corner in the wrong place. Better. See, now that looks slow, feels slow, but is much better. I'm a little offline, which is why I had to wiggle under braking, so I had to get on the brakes a bit harder. One thing I will say is, when the guys come and practice this, they may find that some of these long sweeping corners, they can go through them faster than I can, or faster than I am showing here. What I would say there is, don't get caught in that trap of faster but killing your tyre. I know, for example, while I'm off the throttle here and I'm playing about with the car speed through the corner, yeah, I could be pushing it much harder. But if I do, it's going to hurt the tyres, and then I'm going to be on a short stint. With that, really. I mean, what, 2 in the 217s, then the one with an off, and then 2 in the 218. That's not bad considering it's a long lap, and it is a track that punishes tyres. I mean, what, I'm probably going to estimate between 10 and 16 minutes on a set of tyres. 12, 14, yeah, it's about 10 to 16 minutes on a set of tyres at a fairly decent pace. And the reason I probably wouldn't push the tyres much longer than that is given the nature of the corners around this track. Whereas somewhere like Monza, you can get away with running with a lot less wear left on your tyres. A track like this, you need that grip. So it gets to a point where to be able to get around the corner, you have to go so slow that you lose way too much time, and it's faster to actually just pit and come out with a new set of tyres. But I mean, hopefully for anyone that has watched this, they might find a bit interesting of the few different things that I've tried. But as I said, I will get a much quicker, proper sort of guide for people, because I do know that this track, looking at it, can be very, very daunting. But what I would say is, do not fear, guys, because to be honest, there's only really what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 corners that I would say need a shitload of focus to work out what to do in them, and that's the hairpins. The rest of it's a nice, flowy, not having to do anything risky or outrageous through those parts. Okay, I'm going to bring this video to an end. So, have a good one, everyone, and I will see you later.